way over here, my husband said, break a leg. I said, isn't one broken limb enough, honey?
Sure.
Yeah, I broke my humerus. No, it was not at all funny. I broke it in 9 places. I wish I could tell you I did it doing something exotic, like pole dancing on spring break. But no, walking onto an elevator just doesn't qualify. So I fell in Mexico. Took me 4 hours to get to the hospital. In a cart, pulled by a mule, driven by a guy who just had to stop and take his daily siesta. When it happened, I wanted to talk to an attorney. So I called myself. I am going to be so pissed when I get that bill because we charge by the word. So they bubble wrapped me, gave my husband a bottle of tequila, and sent us home. Just the other day, I threw away those drugs that Mexican doctor gave me. Sorry, Kinsey. So now I have a metal plate in my arm, secured by 10 screws. No way I was going to get screwed in Mexico. Not again. So it ought to be interesting going through airport security. I'm sure to get a full-body pat-down every time I fly. Too bad that plate is in my arm. So, then there are those drugs, those narcotics that my Reno orthopedic surgeon gave me for pain. They definitely did not help my golf game. I couldn't decide which ball to hit. And I got temporarily banned from the course because the marshal kept finding me lounging in the sand trap, sipping margaritas, and waiting for the tide to come in. It's going to be really hard to get back into golf, though, because muscle memory is so critical to grooving one's golf swing. Apparently, my muscles have Alzheimer's. And last season, I played with personalized golf balls. And it was so embarrassing when people would walk up to me, hand me a golf ball, and say, I found this in the rough, or I found it in our yard, or somewhere it shouldn't have been. So I decided to get some personalized golf balls for some of the better golfers in our ladies' club. And I decided, well, why shouldn't I use those? Gotcha, Gretchen. So someone asked me what I shoot today. I say myself. I often look for something fun to do after a bad round of golf, like get a colonoscopy. So my husband spoils me. The other day he treated me to lunch, took me out and got me a couple hot dogs and a 20-ounce drink at Lowe's. They even threw in 2 straws. On the way home, we stopped at Lens Crafters to get some lens cleaner. He ends up buying 2 pair of designer sunglasses. He would have bought anything from that cute blonde optician. So she's bending down to adjust my sunglasses, and he's sitting there all goggle-eyed looking. But I can't blame him, because I invented that move on our first date, and it worked. So I can't imagine life without my husband. Not until the house is paid for, anyway. And I told him if he ever left me, I was going with him. So what's the point, hon? A change of scenery? So did y'all have a good Valentine's Day? Did you get flowers and candy and taken out to eat? I hope it was a special day for you. It certainly was for me. My husband brought me home a copy of a dental x-ray from his dental appointment, and since his new gold crown was in the shape of a heart, saved him from buying a card. He also brought me a rose. Claimed the other 11 roses were blown away by the wind. So windy day means no grilling outside. So he decided after more than 20 years together that he would make me steak Diane, a dish he used to make for his special dates. So we couldn't find any, I felt a little weirded out to be treated to Diane's steak. I didn't even know Diane. So anyway, we couldn't find any brandy in the house. He flamed it with some of his prized Jack Daniels. So maybe next time, turned out well, maybe next time we'll call it Steak Jack or Steak Jack and Diane. But that's such a sad song. Well, it is a sad song. If you've never heard it, you ought to listen to it. You'll cry. So, people do the craziest things. I'm sure you heard about the New York congressman who emailed a picture of himself shirtless to Craigslist. My husband's cousin in Jackson, Mississippi tried the same thing. The only call he got was from Jenny Craig. He's always signing me up for these free knife skills classes at Williams-Sonoma. He's simply tired of eating my finger food. Last week's special, pinky in a blanket. I freaked out when this started to bleed because the blood was orange, not red. Rust from my metal plate already? I didn't know whether to go to the ER or the junkyard. So one of our favorite things to do in retirement is to go on road trips. My husband will take any route that's marked scenic, even if it takes us twice as long to get where we're going. He loves to pass slow-moving vehicles by shouting or yelling, "Get a horse!" We were in Montana recently, and the slow-moving vehicle was a horse. So we shouted, "Get a Toyota!" Now, NASA tested those runaway Toyotas and discovered that the problem was the floor mats. So NASA's solution was get rid of the damn floor mats. Now that's rocket science. Sometimes we take long road trips, like ones that are months, 2 months, even more in length. And it's kind of embarrassing sometimes when you miss several recycle pickups. I have been tempted to put a sign on those glass-only bins. We've been gone a lot. Don't worry, our livers are fine. Then my husband came up with another idea. He said, well, I'll wait until our neighbor George goes inside and we'll put some of our bottles in his bin. The first time we tried that, Waste Management left George an AA pamphlet. Thank you very much.
Keep it going for 7